Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one, welcome all, my friends, to the MRC show, of course, that never ends. Welcome to your Monday night special. This is one of the most eagerly anticipated parts of the season. It is Season 16 live team draw, where everybody gets to find out who is in which tier, who is going to be their teammates for the upcoming season. We're here with quite a full grid. 18 drivers are going to take to the track for a qualifying session and a race. So we're going to have cars on track and a bit of action to show you as we bring you the draw. With me, I'm not alone doing this. As usual, I have got the man who was alongside me last season, and he's back once again. It is one of our Tier 3 stalwarts, one of our lead commentators, one of our senior stewards. It is Mr. Connor Hardy himself. Good evening, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm looking forward to this. I love doing these team draws, mate. It's always really good fun. Are you well?
I think my jaw's lost about 15 years off its life off the last two, but it's gonna be a laugh as always. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
It certainly is. And as well, joining us for his first ever team draw. Usually he is on he's on track usually, but he decided this time he's going to join us. It is one of our fastest racers. He is up there at the top end of the Tier 1 spectrum. He is our resident silver medalist. It's Mr. Chris Bailey. Good evening. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Chris Bailey has left the chat. Oh, wow. I was about to say a pleasure, but wow. Wow.
Why did you have to start that early? You've set me off.
I know.
Cheers, mine.
Sorry,
anyway,
mate.
hello to everyone else in the world. Hello to you three creatures. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's a pleasure. Finally, actually on the other side of the coin here, and humble brag as the person who's had a lot of involvement in making these adjustments to the tiers. I feel like it was nice to have a little whine about everyone and have a little discussion with you all. So it's a pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Glad to have you. And the man who's going to be busy throughout this session, as most of us are, it is the boss man himself. Doesn't need any introduction other than he is the reason we are all here still and racing. The man who's worked very hard in this off-season and works very hard during the season as well. It is the boss man, Mr. Single Track. Martin, hello. Good evening. I tried.
Yeah, Mark, there's a bit of brown on your nose there, mate. Do you want to just give it a little wipe?
Yeah, sorry. You do.
Oh,
you do.
It's getting a bit weird, boys.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Crikey.
Oh dear.
And if you could welcome everybody in the stream as well, hit the like button, do join us if you're not on track or if you're just watching at home. Lovely to have you with us. So, Season 16 is about to be upon us in a few days' time, but we're going to start this team draw, well, before we actually get into the teams, with a bit of change that we're bringing in for next season. And to take you through that is Mr. Hills himself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think that could quite interesting for some of the people a bit further, like you said, down the order as well. That could, like I said, bring a lot of people into the mix that sometimes miss out.
Hello. Martin hasn't been showing his voice for the last few minutes.
Oh, thanks, Ant. Thanks for jumping in. So I'm not sure why. Sorry about that. Oh, heck. Oh, crikey. Oh, heck. So, sorry about that, folks. Little technical glitch. Thanks. Thank you, Ant. I don't know how you managed that on a fast lap, mate, but you're doing well with that.
It's kind of
I know. So, yeah, people said that. Sorry, I'd missed that on the chat. Good evening, Scottish Ninja. Evening, Grant. Evening, Riley Doodles. Lovely to have you, mate. Martin's sorting his bits out and his microphone as well, probably.
That wasn't any better either. That wasn't any better, mate. Oh, no. I mean,
can we hear him now? If anyone did
unfortunately, Martin, I did hear you.
It. Let me mute my mic and test this. One sec.
Yeah, we'll try.
1, 2.
Yeah.
It was all going fine until Martin got involved.
Martin, can you continue to talk for me, please?
There'll be like a 20-second delay for YouTube. So, just keep talking. Keep hearing your lovely Somerset voice, or Devonshire voice.
Can confirm you are not on stream at all.
Wow.
Whilst you fiddle with your technology, I'll refer it that way.
Yep.
Hodgie, shall we summarise what Martin was saying? So,
yeah.
Regards to point system, we're going to run from P1 down to P15 for the points rather than the conventional F1 first to P10 system. The reason being is to increase both the closeness at the front, but also to give a fairer reflection of drivers both in the midfield and the lower points region, and then the lower end of the table during the season, so that it's not just a couple of points here or there, it's a more broad reflection over the season of how people are doing and if people are struggling, or if people are maybe like yourself, Mark, last season, for example, you just missing out on the top 10 so often, but then you're not getting the benefit compared to other people who were maybe lower down than yourself. There's no real reflection of whether you or they were doing better. So it's to give maybe a more fair opportunity for people to represent themselves. I think that's probably a nice way of saying it.
Absolutely, yeah, it is, definitely. And I think this is it. People, when you get to 12th, 13th, sort of, I know there are a lot of battles out on track, but there's more at stake, so you might see a bit of better and more racing further down the order and further down the grid, and that's it'll also encourage people to keep racing as well. So yes. I think it's well, this is it. We try these different things due to what people ask for and the ideas from a lot of the drivers in MRC, and we do listen. And this is proof that we do listen, and we can only try it. And if it doesn't seem to work, I don't see how this bit wouldn't, but we'll give it a go and try. While Martin is still trying to sort his mic, let's get into the team draw, shall we?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Absolutely. I think Connor's back with us, but we are going Lovely, Germany. We're going to start at the top end, shall we? And we will start with the Tier 1 boys in the elite class. And we'll do it in alphabetical order, as we usually do. And I need to find one of them on track. There is one of them, the Alpine of Airways, who's coming to finish a lap. And in the Alpine, also another man who's on track as well. And funny enough, picked his spot. It is our resident multinational man who popped up in the chat briefly to give us some info, which was we thank. Mr. Ant is in the Alpine, and he will be accompanied by Sam Flanagan will also be in the Enstone outfit as well, as Ant's now doing donuts to to show that he's happy with that.
Yeah, well,
as his teammate comes through.
He should be, as he
He's trying to do donuts, but failing very epically.
Just like everything that French people tend to do.
Wow.
On a happy note though for Ant, he's kicked P5 last season, and in the last 4 seasons in Tier 1 he's been top 5. He even won MRCX 2 seasons ago. So, I think it's fair to say that Ant is no slouch despite all our banter. He is pretty damn quick. As for Sam Flan, the former Tier 2 champion, he struggled in his first of 2 seasons in Tier 1, did qualify at the back deliberately in most races. Last season, however, the second half of the season, he came on extremely strong. He found a spur of form, which even took him to the front row in qualifying in Texas. And he had 3 or 4 points finishes in the last 5 races, which is pretty good form. So
Absolutely.
That's a good pairing.
It is a good pairing. It is.
I may be back. Tell me whether I'm back, somebody.
Hold on, give me a sec, I'll mute.
Yep. Monster, you're in the chat. If you can hear Mr. Hills, please do pop up and let us know.
I'm not actually talking at the moment, so I better say something.
Yeah, you should probably...
Bergen says Bergen says yes. Martin's back.
Okay,
fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, can hear
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Kyle. Thank you.
Lovely. Lovely.
Right.
So next team is the Aston Martins, the green outfit.
Yes. Aston Martin. So the lineup for Aston Martin this season is Alex Yaseki, also known as Saviour87, and the Fox River 8, aka Jake Card.
Good strong pairing that.
I won't lie to you, it's 2 very well-known, well-respected drivers in this league. Obviously, Saviour, if you're an MRC, you know him far too well. Mr. MRC Sweat. I have all the bragging rights to call him what I want because it's personal with me and him. He's obviously won an extremely large number of titles, both in Tier 1 and in MRCX, which, let's be fair to him, that's worth all the praise in the world. And he's a lovely guy as well, always helping out other drivers if they need advice. Fox, Jay, again, when he's actually practicing and puts the effort in, he keeps up with pretty much anybody
Which
in the
is
league.
never.
Yeah, that's the problem.
As you are his best friend, yeah, you would know. But unfortunately, as you're right, he doesn't have the motivation sometimes. I mean that in the nicest way. But when Jake does find the energy and does get the hunger, watch out because he is a crazy fast guy when he's on it.
I have done bits of practice with him before, and honestly, he will practice for an hour and all of a sudden be on pace with a lot of the front guys in Tier 1, and that's just after an hour with a setup he's found off a dodgy Chinese site.
But that shows his ability, because the best people can dial the car in so quickly. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen have both been hailed by their engineers for doing such things, so that's a great trait to have.
It is.
Yeah.
Now we'll nip on, we'll better move on. We've got the Maranello outfit, the men in red.
The
Mr. Hardy.
Boo team.
The pretty boys
do. And Ferrari this season have a driver that drove for them several years ago by the name of Rubens Barrichello. And
what a guy. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, what's happened then?
And it's also confirmed that he is just going to let his teammate pass because his teammate will be in P20 while he's in P19. And that is Simon.
So he's like Luca Badoa.
Yeah, he's the Luca Badoa to Chris Bailey's Rubens Barrichello.
So I am Mr. Number 2 as usual, and Simon is the snail at the back, making up the numbers.
Yeah, Simon is also a crap, so...
Oh, well, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. Well, Simon, to be fair to him, last season, he only scored in 1 race, but that race was Monza, and he actually achieved P4 despite a lot of dramas in the last 5 or 6 laps. There was a bit of a...
There was 16 DNFs.
Brawl. There was a brawl. Not far from it.
And he was...
There was a brawl in the race. I was involved, as was many other drivers. But Simon did bring it home to achieve P4. The point system would actually have made Simon's season look a lot better. So obviously, as Martin unfortunately here touched on, but we've already explained briefly, the news point system would have benefited someone like last season with Simon. I expect as his teammate him to do a lot better this season.
The stewards did try and take the P4 away from him, but we just couldn't.
Anyway.
Then we've got the unfortunately in the pits, but the Haasmobiles are next, and we have got the has-beens, shall we call them?
Oh wow! Yes.
Actually, it's the Kissy has-beens.
The Kissy, it is the Kissy has-beens. I'm gonna highlight one. It's better than the MSN name, the Kissy has-beens. Oh, brilliant! I love that. If he can't guess already, G-Star Ben Van der Hemster is in the house next. Oh, that's killed me. That. Oh, that's brilliant. And his teammate is Ben Gleeson, or BXENNE. So that is again another the Kissy.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's
We're
good.
all kissies. They're having a massive loving.
Oh,
So
that's brilliant.
yeah, Team Ben, Team
Team Ben,
XX, XX Ben XX. That's the team this season.
Please do look at that on incognito mode or secret mode, otherwise someone will catch you.
Yes. On a slightly less X-rated note, pun intended, the Ben is in Ben rather than G-Star. BXNNE Ben came second in Tier 1 last season, narrowly beaten by Ugoni El Gotio. He did miss one race, so you could argue that without that one race, would he have won the title? Would it have been closer? Who knows? But he's no slouch, and obviously I'd expect him to give him a run right to the wire again.
Yeah, absolutely.
G-Star has been in the top 10 every season until last season in Tier 1 that he's been here. He's a very consistent runner both in X and in Tier 1, and I think that is my personal pick for the Constructors title this season.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, to be honest. Yeah, because they are very consistent. Both have just fantastic racecraft and a lot of pace between them. So I think that is not a bad call, to be perfectly honest. Yep.
Yeah. So, following Haas, we move on to Team Papaya. Now then, one member of this team has done the opposite to Lewis Hamilton. They have moved from Mercedes to McLaren. That is Jules. Jules last season had a fantastic season. He's one of the best qualifiers in the league at the moment. His race pace isn't quite on his qualifying pace, but he is a fantastic racer nonetheless. And he is joined by the Tier 2 champion from last season, Bergen. Now, Kyle has now won 3 titles, 2 in Tier 2, 1 in Tier 3 in this lovely league, and is a former Tier 1 driver now returning back to the big time. I'm sure that will be quite a good competitive pairing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be another consistent pairing, I think, between them all. But for one Mercedes powered car to the actual Mercedes...
Yeah, let's head to the Toblerone. So, first up we have the man who owns a zoo. It is Calvin Mack. And
That's a very old joke.
It is, I forgot about that one.
Bring back Colin Zhao. Bring back Colin Zhao.
We actually like that version of you, sorry.
So does Calvin, I can confirm.
And in the other car, it is, well, he's pretty washed now, but it is Kid Dynamite.
Wow.
It's funny you should say that, because I actually have written on my notes here that Kid, aka Dino, did have his worst season to date last season. The last
that's because I was his teammate, that's why.
He's been dogged down by dodgy teammates for the last 2 seasons.
He is the reason for my downfall.
So yeah, Dynamite's been a little bit off his usual very high standards. I think it's only fair to say that his standards are as high as Ugoni, Ben, etc.
Yeah, I think
whoever does the next team, we need a big build-up because it is the shock of the century.
Yeah, no
it is, isn't it? This is probably the biggest shock, isn't it? I think of, and unfortunately we haven't finished qualifying, so I'm not really sure who's on track, but we'll go with that one. Yeah, this is just
break, by the way, guys.
Yeah, sorry. You better put that in the Discord for everybody, if you don't mind. Yeah, this is quite a big shock, I think, and something that, well, I don't think anybody's going to expect. In one of the seats, though, is Colin TK, who's currently on the stream at the moment. Colin Piesma, I think his surname is. So Colin is in the Red Bull, and his teammate, who was requested this seat out of the blue, and he has done the swap from his usual team. It is the Champione, the multiple Champione of Tier 1. It's Damiano Ugoni has gone from the red to the Red Bull.
So when I got the DM from him, I DM'd him as I did with all the potential promotions and demotions and champions and the ones who were applicable for team choices. I messaged him to say, about 2 weeks before the end of the season, what would your picks be, just in advance? And he said, no, I wait for the season to finish, which that's not how he spoke, that's my awful accent. But anyway, he didn't want to pick. When the season did finally finish, he sent me Red Bull. And that's because he won his first race in MRC in a Red Bull.
Did you get the defib out?
I won't lie to you. I did have to, when you do the whole, am I dreaming? Is this a joke? I didn't believe him. I messaged him back saying, are you joking? Is this some form of pun? But no, that is for real. And yeah, Ugoni has made the move from the Holy Grail to what can only be defined as the dumpster of F1.
So Ant's called you racist for your for your accent. Dean said he's in time for the insults.
No, I am learning the Italian national anthem.
Well, to be fair, we all have to. We have to.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Dean would be scared if I didn't insult him. So,
but anyway, coming back to Colin very quickly. Not Colin Zhao.
We might have to be quick with this one. We're a bit behind.
Yeah. That's all right. So you came P3 in Tier 2 last season, despite a ban for missing and then having to miss some races. Despite that, his improvement in his racecraft has been fantastic, and his pace is incredible. He deserves to be in Tier 1, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with it on that one. The next one up I can't do anybody.
Steak.
Yeah.
Do we have to wait for the cars, or should we just go?
No, let's go for it. We haven't got time. Cool. I don't think.
Sauber /Steak /Kick /Alfa Romeo /BMW Sauber, whatever you want to call them. We have got Reese Whitcomb and Rassam. Now, Rassam also goes by the name of Sam Olsen. Sam came P5 in Tier 2 last season. He did miss a few races both at the start and the end of the season, so again, without those, I think he'd have been in the mix for the top 3 at least, maybe top 2, maybe top 1. He's a very quick guy, and we're excited to see how he does with the step up, and obviously going alongside Reese. Reese also missed a few races last season, but when Reese is on it, as we saw in Texas, when he won Tier 1 Texas, he is ridiculously quick and can hold a candle to anybody. So that's actually an exciting pairing as well. Really excited to see how they get on.
Yep, it is. Oh, someone's readied up early, I think, by the looks of it.
Great.
Oh, that's a shame.
Only 5 minutes early, but
well, unfortunately, we're going to have to go. So hopefully, people will jump back on the grid. That's unfortunate. Normally, we would red flag it, but oh heck,
we haven't got time for that today.
Unfortunately, no. So the V carbs are next.
We head to the Cash App, OnlyFans, Pornhub, whatever.
HSBC.
And it is, the first one is actually one of the guys who is normally a title contender. He's very, very insanely quick. That is Micro Mash Joey Davis. And then the second driver in that team is actually a man I really, really praise him that he gets back to his form, because when he's at his best, he is frightening, and that is Mr. LRL HSV fan.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with both statements. Mike Mash came P6 last season. He missed a few races, which is obviously a shame. You're right, though. I think he, Ben, and Ngoni are the 3 fastest in the league right now, which ultimately, that is a hell of a lot of praise. As for LRL, when he first joined, he won 2 races in one night in Austria, season 5. Since then, by his own admission, he's been on a slight downward spiral. He only achieved 1 point finish last season in Tier 1. However, as you said, he's one of the nicest and most likeable guys. And if he finds his form again, he's a great racer to go up against in a battle, and very fair as well.
Yeah. Do you two want to do the last one?
Have marking out.
Yeah, I'll take control of it.
Spoiler alert.
So the final pairing for Tier 1 this season is, of course, the fantastic team that is Williams, the best team on the grid, just not in real life.
Nope.
Or in MRC for that matter, actually. You've got a great first driver in Bobo, who jumped up last season from Tier 3 to Tier 1 and immediately made a statement, coming in overall P8 in step up from Tier 3 to Tier 1. That is incredible. And you know what? He's a really likeable guy. Got a lot of time for him. He's partnered by, well, I'm going to be nice and call him, he said some nasty things about me earlier, but I'm going to call him Captain Rummeister, Mr. Hodge. He's the former MRCX champion of Season 6. He's a Tier 2 champion 3 times, including back-to-backs. And he also runs our comms and is officially a nice guy on paper. But,
On
yeah,
paper, absolutely.
he is also, fun fact for everyone here, that's not really that fun, but it's a fact. He is the only person in Tier 1 who is in the same seat this season as they were last season. That is deliberate. Wanted to keep everything a bit more interesting, so everyone had a new car, some new surroundings to go to, and then Mark comes along and goes, I want Willie. That's what the DM said. If you want proof, I will show you that he said that he wants Willie. Don't call me out on that.
I'm really hoping everyone moves off this start, by the way.
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so. Well, it is a bit of a dodgy lobby, I think. Everyone is aware, though.
So all good, we're all good.
Everyone's aware. Good stuff.
Over to Tier 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start them off with the Alpine somewhere down the order. We'll just keep on with just some of the racing that's going on this evening. We have got, I think, again, another very strong team. One of the drivers who, especially in X, was very, very quick. Unfortunately, had a bad start here this evening. But it is Armour Red. Steve Mitchell is in an Alpine next season. And alongside him, again, another man who is very, very quick and very consistent. It is Nick Oars, which is Krusty a Teabag.
Yes, so Armagh, he's a very lovely guy. He came P11 last season. I feel that doesn't necessarily show how quick he is. I think he's a lot faster than that.
He's got a lot of speed, as Steve.
He does indeed. It's the consistency is his issue. That's because he's just a very aggressive racer. Not necessarily dirty, just very aggressive, and sometimes ends up in the wrong way round in the collision, but you can refine that, I'm sure.
Nick is quite similar, actually.
Yeah, but although Nick actually ended the season so well, it's the start of the season that caught him out.
Yeah, he was my teammate a couple of seasons ago, and he's a rapid guy. He just like you say, it's sometimes it's the you've got to kind of know when to make a move and know when not to.
Exactly. So if they can both keep their heads.
His name is wrong on the spreadsheet though.
Oh, that's fine. No one sees the spreadsheet.
It's Nick Das.
Oh, that's fine. Das, OAS. Okay, it's fine. Apologies.
I remember from last year because I used to compare him to the Mercedes steering wheel.
Anyway, but still, as we said there, if those two can refine the when to dive, when to send it, when to fight, they'll both be in the mix.
Yeah. But we're on to the next team along the grid. It is the Green Machines again, and it is the Aston Martins.
Yes. So, coming down from Tier 1 after, I believe, 3 seasons in Tier 1, he's done a fantastic job, but has found both confidence and pace not quite where he feels happy with it being. That is Kaiser Soze. So, I think this season we'll see a resurgence in both his form and confidence, and we'll see him up near the front. And we also have, speaking of rejuvenation, Monster. Andrew last season did lose his seat at the start of the season. He re-earned it through being both a reliable reserve but also an improved driver at the same time. And in turn, as we said, re-earned a seat and has re-earned a seat for this season. So praise on him for finding both the energy and the passion to keep going and not just give up. So well done, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's. I know you like that team, and I know you like his teammate as well. He's. Yeah, I think he's getting a lot better, and he's definitely showing his improvement. And so, yeah, look forward to seeing more improvement again this season from him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then we go to Ferrari.
We do.
Yes.
And that is a man who was formerly in Tier 1, I believe, last season.
Yeah.
And he is, I believe, Bahraini as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, yeah, he is, and that would be Mahmoud Habib. And then the second driver in the Ferrari is the reigning Tier 3 champion, who has just absolutely wiped the floor. He was absolutely brilliant last season. Even stepped up to Tier 2 for one race and got a podium last season as well.
He did.
And that is Flaherty, who is, very, very clean, and I can't say enough good things about him.
No, he's a really likeable guy. He didn't run away with Tier 3, but that's because Tier 3 was actually quite competitive last season compared to previous years. But he did consistently end up, like Verstappen in 2023, consistently in the front few every race without fail, almost without mistake. So deserves that step up. I actually think he's a contender for a back-to-back championship, you know?
Yeah,
we've seen it with
definitely.
Seen it with Calvin, we've seen it with Bergen. Before, in terms of going Tier 3, Tier 2 back-to-back, I would not rule him out for that. As for Mudev, similar to Jose, let's see if he can refine some form and a bit of confidence. He's a lovely guy as well, and I think that's a dangerous pairing.
Yep, I think so is this one as well, and this is the Hasperbeals, and it is the man with the poshest name in MRC, the double barrel Nick Van and Thomas. Nick BT is in the Hasperbeel, another very quick driver on his day as well, and another man who, I mean, I've battled with him for championships numerous times, was former Tier 1 driver as well. Lost a little bit of form, I think, but on his day again, very, very quick, and it's Alex Edgerick in the Haas. That's another formidable pairing, I think.
Yeah, 2 former Tier 1 drivers. Alex last season was at the bottom end of the table. That was, again, just a lack of strong finishes. Had a lot of collisions with people, not all were his fault. I'm not going to sit here and say he's dirty because that's not a fair comment. But he's another one where his qualifying is remarkable and his race pace sometimes doesn't match it. As for Nick, he's had a couple of slower seasons. Last season refound his pace, and as many people in Tier 2 will have noticed last season with how many people won races, he was one of them and came P4 overall, which is not at all bad. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's a good pair in there.
Yep. And we're probably, well, let's go to the papayas. Mr. Hardy, you can mention comments of this one.
I love how you've given this one to me.
Absolutely.
So we head to papaya. And the first one is a man who is the soggiest of biscuits. And that would be Mr. BitW365. He's going to absolutely kill me, but it's all fun and games. And then for the Stoffel Van Dorn of the team, it is Martin Hill, aka Single Track.
I will find you.
Well, Liam Neeson has entered the chat. What I was going to say was...
I'm off now anyway, I've said what I needed to say, goodbye.
This pairing here is actually quite case of literally a return of the Mac, because...
It is a reunion.
It is.
Both drivers have been teammates at McLaren before many moons ago, both of whom have a team pick and both requested McLaren. Obviously didn't know the other one had. And when I was drawing these up a couple of weeks ago when I started doing it, I saw these two and immediately thought, oh, that's like a nice little reunion, so that's kind of cute. There you go, Martin. You've got your playmate back.
Oh, I think, yeah. The last time I actually had a good season was, I think, I was teammates with Carl and in a McLaren. So yeah.
And you are both former champions as well. So let's put some respect. Let's be nice for once. Absolutely. Because I do love Carl really, and I actually party with him most Monday evenings. And he's a lovely guy. He bleeds racing. He literally lives motorsport. So similar to yourself. So yeah.
Carl's pace has developed dramatically since the last game as well.
I'm going to brown nose him a little bit here. So when I joined MRC in season 5, Carl was a bottom end of Tier 3 guy. He has now achieved front row starts and podiums in Tier 2 multiple times. Now, that progression and jump is huge.
Yeah. I'm sure he's got about 2 wins as well.
Yeah, he has achieved wins and the MRCX title in Season 6.
Yeah.
I will say about Carl, qualifying is, I think, openly admitted by him as well, always been his weak point.
Yeah, he's improved that.
For the whole season in Tier 2, he has definitely, without a doubt, at least top 5 of the best racecraft in that tier. Without doubt.
Without doubt, 100%.
Absolutely.
And in the wet, I'd actually fancy him to beat most of the tier.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw Carl spin?
Oof, that is a very good question.
When someone hits him is usually what happens.
When I took him out in Australia season 5.
we could all say that about you at some point, to be honest with you, Connor.
No, honestly, he never lets me forget it.
Let's go to the Toblerones, shall we now? And it's the Mercedes boys. And another one, again, it could be a very, very quick pair in this. And it is, the first man is Lauren 410, Loppy 76 is in the Mercedes. Followed by one of our Italian stallions, it is Federico Sabelli, also known as Sociopath. So that could be a good pairing. I think I quite like that one. I think that's another consistent one.
He really improved last season. He really stepped up last season.
Lorpy was one of the few drivers last season across the whole of our league to not miss out on a point finish every race.
Wow.
He got a point at every single race in Tier 2 last season, which, whether it's P10 or P1, that's impressive. There's no debating that. As a sociopath, he missed a couple of seasons due to personal situations and not wanting to have or having time to race. We brought him back in for last season. Well, since 2 seasons ago, he was in Tier 3. Then last season, went back up to Tier 2, and he's already found where his pace was when he originally left. So that's great to see that he's still got it. He actually got P8 overall last season in Tier 2, so I'm sure maybe top 3 is on the cards for him this season.
Yep, definitely. Next, we've got
my favourite team.
Yes.
So Jackster and J2 Roddy is your Red Bull pairing for the season. So Jackster, last season was demoted to Tier 3. That was following, not the best season of Tier 2 seasons ago. That said, after missing the first 2 races from being on holiday in Thailand and Southeast Asia, the lucky creature, he felt throughout the season alongside a fantastic Connor Hardy as a teammate in the Mercedes.
And take that back.
And Jackson achieved not only his first 2 wins in MRC, but P3 overall, narrowly beaten by Wookie for P2 in the fight with Flaherty. He's obviously, similar to what I was saying with Monster, he's had a bit of a rejuvenation from his previous seasons and looks really back to his confidence, which is great. He's partnered by a newbie in J2 Roddy, whose real name, so obviously, no one's birth name is J2 Roddy, is Jack Rodden. He joined us literally in the last week. Seems like a lovely, happy, chappy guy. He's actually on track in the Williams right now on P7.
Yeah, he's having a good race so far.
So they're the Jackos.
It's a Jack,
Team Jack off. It's a Jack off.
What?
It's who's going to be first. It's a Jack off, is it?
Oh no.
So if it's a close run competition within the team, that's what that is,
Yeah,
it's also toward the end of the season. They're going to have to settle it one way, aren't they?
It's either that. I don't want to know who finishes first in that one.
I'm sure the woman will be disappointed.
If they finish first,
you
anyway.
don't want to know who has the other Jack off.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Who's got the other? Who's got the other hand?
It'd be interesting to see how the Jacks. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop saying that because that's going to be a bad sentence. Right.
I knew exactly where you was going with that as well.
Peggy 18.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going down after this, but have fun, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Sauber, Connor. Do you want to talk
Let's
through
go.
the Sauber State
Let's go.
team?
If you go to Heathrow Airport, you will find the first driver in this team, and that is Airway 90.
I like that.
And then the second driver is actually another driver who I've raced against, and he's really, really good, and it's so good. He was actually at the front a lot in Tier 2 last season. I think he just had a lot of unfortunate bad luck, and that is Freddie Olsen.
Yeah, so Freddie's
From the
season was a
Faroe
mixed
Islands.
bag. He's from the Faroe Islands. Freddie's season started really well. He's a contender for the title for the first half of the season, dropped off over the second half, mainly through collisions. Airways did have a lot of good results, but a bit of a mixed bag across the season as well. So similar to what we said about the Alpine team and the Haas team, if these two can just get their consistency over the season, they'll both be in the mix at the front. They're both very quick and very good to race with. And yeah, look forward to seeing how they go.
Is Freddie's name not Freddie? Because I was very confused when I did the graphics and got given the...
It's Fry. Freddie's actual name is Fry, but his PlayStation name is Freddie.
I did not know that, because we've had that wrong every season so far in that case.
Yeah, I've always called him Freddie as well. Oh no.
Could be worse. Bergen calls him Friday.
Oh no.
I just outed Bergen on live stream.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's go to the V-Carbs, the Cash App Mortgage Company.
Must.
Yeah, we must. We've got, again, another very fast driver on his day, and it is Mr. C8 Lou, also known as Louis Carter. He is in the V-Carb, and one of our another new boys who's just joined in this week. I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name.
I'll give you a tenner if you can say his name.
I think it's classed as Maurice.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I think it's right.
Lucy.
The second name as well. Go on.
Rexy. I'm going to go with Rexy. Rexic. I'm going to go with Rexic. Also known as Moritz. So I'm sorry if I butchered your name when you're watching, my friend, but good luck to you this season. Lovely to have you aboard and look forward to seeing you on track.
Indeed. It's lovely to have more newbies and some fresh blood in the league. As for C8 Lou, he himself is quite new as well. He actually joined for the last 3 races of the last season. in which he actually did quite well. He gained his first points at Abu Dhabi, which is only his, I think it's his second or third race, because he was only here for 3 weeks in the season. So to get points that quickly, having joined, is no mean feat at all. So a very new pairing, very new drivers, but by no means is that a belittlement of them.
It is. And the final one is the Willie boys.
Williams. Yeah, so the Williams in Tier 2, you've got Penisa, who came P15 last season, and weird fact for him, his only points finish of the season, he got 1 points finish of the season, was a win at Baku. Every other race he didn't finish the points, which is a very strange thing to happen, but it shows that he is capable. And his teammate is Doris, who was P2 last season, and, well, by respect, Bergen's gone up in P1, so Doris is automatically therefore the favourite. He had multiple race wins and came P2 overall. He was part of the Constructors winning team in Sauber, so we all know what Doris is about. He's a quick guy, and if he's not at the front, then I am shocked.
Right then.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Tier 3. Or do you want
to quickly circle back to the points thing before we go into Tier 3?
Only if you stop playing with your equipment.
Yeah, and just before you do that, everybody who's watching, please hit the like button. Please come back and join us in the live chat. We've gone down to 17 people. Come on, folks, get joining in and join us. Sorry, Martin. Go ahead.
No worries. So, just to very quickly summarise what weird... For some reason, my PlayStation decided that my mic wasn't connected anymore, even though it was. But anyway, so just to quickly recap what I had been saying. So basically, as the guys explained, we've extended the points down to 15th, and that will create a much closer championship. And it will also allow us to get better differentiation between the people in the midfield, and those people in the midfield will also get better overall results as well. So it should help us better understand who's performing in what ways. But beyond that, we've also introduced a points capping system for both MRCX and Extreme, and those two races are related to one another. They're very different sorts of things. MRCX, if you don't know, is our variable format race, which is like a bonus race on a Friday that anybody can race in, and it is a points leveling race basically. So if you're a lower tier driver, you score the same points as a higher tier driver in comparison with the other people from your tier. So if you are the first tier 2 driver, you get 25 points. If you're the first tier 1 driver, you get 25 points. If you're the first tier 3 driver, you get 25 points, and so on through the point system. But we experimented with this for the first time last year with the hope that we would get more lower tier drivers involved, and that unfortunately didn't happen, which meant that it went a bit lopsided, and it meant that a lot of people scored very heavily every race, basically, which wasn't entirely balanced, which was the whole point of the system. So what we're going to do this season is that there needs to be a decent number of people from your own tier in order for you to achieve maximum points in a race. So basically, there's got to be 5 people from your tier in either an MRCX or an Extreme race for you to score the full 25 points. If there's less than 5 people, the maximum points you can score will be equal to second place. If there's less than 4 people, the maximum points you can score are equal to third place. So basically what happens is, it stops somebody becoming a runaway champion simply because they're the only one that's turning up. So hopefully that's a fairer way of doing it, and it's a simple system because we did look at other ways of doing that, but that just seemed the easiest way to understand. We'll obviously go through that again once we actually start racing, but with MRCX this Friday, that system will be in place. It's going to be the first race that we're doing with the new point system and with the capping system, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about with regards to MRCX later.
Absolutely. There certainly is. Thank you for that, Martin. Yeah, really well said. So, folks, what we have got is now the Tier 3 boys, and we'll start with the Alpines. And we're going to start with a returning driver. He is the wee leprechaun, Mr. Simon Cowell himself, the one who, for some reason, buys clothes from the men's department, even though he really shouldn't. He is...
If you go in your garden, you'll find him as a garden gnome.
He has got the fishing rod firmly in his hands. It is Mr. Wee Willie.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Hold on,
I was going with the garden gnome fishing rod, little garden gnome. That's where I was going with that.
Thank God he's not in a team with anyone called Jack.
That'd be good.
I was actually going to make that joke if I got that team as well.
So Mr. Wee Willie Winkle, Kyle Sale, is back with us, and he is with one of our very quick drivers as well in Tier 3. And it is Triz, or Terence Thaler, as well.
So yeah, Winky returning after a long absence. Something I never thought I'd actually say in real life, but here we are. We've said it out loud. It's good to have him back. He's actually one of our longest serving members in MRC from back in season 1. There's no way of saying this without sounding bad, is there?
Winky's one of our longest serving members.
I can't believe I've actually written that down. I can't believe I wrote that down and didn't think that through. Oh, wow.
Oh, why did no one think to put Winky in a Winnie?
Because I'm stupid.
Winky in a asshole.
Oh no!
Oh, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, good news, everyone. Good news, everyone. Winky is back. He's partnered by Triz.
Stop! I need to go to sleep.
Triz was P9 last season, Tier 3. Had he turned up more, I'm going to say how it is. Had he turned up more, I'm sure he'd have been further up the table because his results are very good when he was racing, but he was absent quite a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was. Yeah.
Next up is Aston, and first name in Aston is Hive Eclipse. Hive is also known in real life as Anthony Mack, Return of the Mack. He was top 5 last season, one of our contenders to go up. He is staying in Tier 3, however, and is one of my contenders for the title. He's recently dropped a load of assists and is gaining confidence with lesser assists, so fair play and well done to you. He is partnered by Dom Rosser. Dom Rosser's real name is actually Trevor. So
yeah, I can see the link. I can see the link.
Yeah, I don't know where he's got the name from, but all good in the hood. He's a new member. Welcome, Dom, Trevor, Rosser, whatever you want to be called. Hopefully you enjoy the lovely Aston Martin, and let's see how you develop as the season goes on.
Absolutely. Yeah, look forward to that one. And then we've got, speaking of Roddy's retired somewhere. I don't know what happened there.
No!
That's annoying. That's so upsetting for him. I don't know where he is on track. We've got no damage on tonight, so I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the internet went. But we shall move on, and we shall go to the Redmobile.
Yeah, we certainly shall. The first man is a familiar face that you often see in the Ferrari, but currently he has more broken bones in his hand. And he's got enough broken bones that he could probably revive a chicken's life with it or something, because
what?
It's Abadash.
What does that even mean?
And then you've got who is this next guy?
I've now gone off KFC, I know that much.
He's a new guy.
Okay, and the next guy is Noct 95. He's in a Ferrari. Wilfred Touche, I want to call him. But yeah,
Touche. I wonder if Noct is off.
I want the next team.
I wonder if you can do it if you like. Because I wonder if Noct's off. He's got his name from Final Fantasy 15 because the lead character was called Noctis. I don't know.
Maybe.
Weird bit for me. That's one of the games I like. Moving on. Let's go to
that, Thank you very much for that, Mr. Hodgson.
Excuse me. What?
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 Mr. Hodgson showing his dork.
It's a.
There.
What's going on?
He's a character from Final Fantasy VII.
He's definitely stood there with a peg on his nose.
I was going to say a peg somewhere else.
I just did not. Wow. I just didn't expect that.
I had to stop myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, anyway, so Noct is a newcomer. Yeah. Avanash, we all know Avanash well enough, and he's on a recovery from his injury. Otherwise, he would have actually gone up to Tier 2, but he's a little bit broken.
Oh, Jack, I had trouble with his connection. But Keep going on, mate. Keep going. Keep tuned in, and don't forget to hit the like button as well, Jack, while you're there, mate. But yeah, let's go to the papayas. Go on, Connor. I know you're desperate for the. Is that sorry? It's a Haas. What have I missed? I don't know why I did that. Yeah, go to that. Sorry, sorry,
how
Connor.
did you miss the Haas?
I don't know.
Are you okay?
Let's start.
No.
Let's start with a trivia question for Haas, right?
Oh, no.
For one of the drivers. So, Scottish Ninja is famously known for hitting his braking points, but there's one point on every track where he hits his braking point perfectly each race. What part of the track is it?
Pit lane entry.
Yep, the pit lane entry.
Yes! Ding, ding, ding! Sorry,
I can't wait for him to come after you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got plenty more where they came from, but I'll probably use that in extreme.
Yeah, fair enough.
And next we have Omar Sabi, who's actually a very new driver. I also believe he's South African. Really, he struggled a bit for pace early on, but he was always consistent, always managed, I think, to scrape lower end points. So good to see him.
Well, he actually only joined for the second last race as his first actual race he made.
I think he raced 3 times, I believe.
He actually didn't know he got points on his debut.
Yeah, that was it. I knew he got points at some point. But yeah.
Ninja didn't actually score a single point in Tier 3 last season. That isn't because he's quick or slow. He's actually a very quick guy. Ninja, unfortunately, didn't finish most of those races. So if he can work on finishing the race, he would definitely be up there.
Turn 1, as he would for the pit lane.
I think Scottish Grantish Ninja, as I called him once, when he won MRCX, he would be up there in the mix if he keeps his head down.
Pace-wise, 100%, I agree, yeah.
Just keep your head down, Grant, and you'll be up there, mate. Shall we go to La Papaya Mobile?
Yeah, do you want to do that one?
Oh, no.
Do you want the? Would you like the honour?
Go on, the honour of the Connor. The honour of the Connor. Actually, no, Connor, I'd like to ask you a question, Connor. So, you're in the McLaren. How was last season for you?
Or
do you want me to summarise it? Do you want me to summarise it for you?
PG18.
It's probably better than I do, because if I describe it, we're going to get taken down.
Mate, if I describe it, it's something much better. It was pretty poor, Connor. You're much better than that. I expect this season, Connor, top 6. That is your target. Come on.
Come on, mate. Absolutely.
That's the funniest thing you've said all stream.
I'm being nice. I could have said much worse. No, jokes aside, you have been in MRC a long time. You've won titles in MRC. You've won Tier 3 specifically. You are capable of good finishes. You just didn't enjoy last season. I think that's a nice thing to say. This season, I'm hoping we see a rejuvenated, reborn Connor. And you are partnered by someone who's rejoined after being a bit of a folklore in this league.
I'm terrified.
The Scottish man who loves to scream and howl like a banshee. It's his Night Shadow. Last season was his first season back, and he did impress, especially at Monaco. Looks like Gav's found his love for racing again, and I hope that you two together work well.
Yeah, me and him party a lot for the races. He's so quick, so consistent, and again, he's another driver with very little practice. He can put it right at the front most weeks, so
indeed,
it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I think he could be, if he practiced a bit more, could be a title contender.
Yeah, he could be.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Mercedes boys, and I think we've got 2 drivers who are new to the league because they have our EA IDs. They are part of the crossplay. Armour's managed to get disqualified for going the wrong way. Not sure how. Oh, I see where. No, he spun round the normal, the very tricky left-hander, and I think it just put him the wrong way, and he couldn't recover. But we have got Antown. We've got Anton and now Antown in the Mercedes. Antoine Dakar, and we've also Michael Harris, also known as T-Babs T, is in the Mercedes boys. So 2 new drivers. So look forward to seeing how they get on in Tier 3 this season. There could be good drivers to watch.
Indeedy. Connor, you can take Red Bull because I don't like mentioning that name.
So, in Red Bull, we have a driver that was a reserve last season, but again, whenever he shows up, usually very strong. I believe he's starting to drop assists himself, and he's getting a lot better at it as well. It's Mutts Nuts, aka John Riesbeck.
Absolute dog's bollocks.
And in seat number 2, we have the man who actually won 2 titles this season. I'm not going to take anything out. I'm not going to even bring up the point system. It was Smith F122, aka Heinrich Smith. He won the Extreme and MRCX titles this season.
So
last season, I should say.
What we need to see is, can Smith bring the form he's shown in the other tiers, the mixed tiers? Can he bring that to tier 3? Because ultimately, whilst there were not many representatives in either race from tier 3, he still turned up and he still plugged away and got results.
He's arguably one of the most committed people in MRC.
He is. Can he bring a bit more pace to tier 3?
I wish I had his brain power, I will say that.
As for Mutsnuts had an inconsistent season. He actually had a couple of good results, including a P4 in the first few races of the season, and things dropped off from there. And obviously, he's now got a permanent seat rather than being reserved. So let's see if he can bring the consistency.
Absolutely. And we'll go to the Red Bull. We've done the Red Bull. Sorry, we'll go to the Saubers. I am really losing the plot.
You're fine.
We have got Mr. Kendrick Victor CBG Sambal in the Kick Saubers next season. Alongside him, a man called Dino 1971, Dean Sargent in the Kick Saubers.
Yeah, Sambal P11 last season, again, similar to what I said for some other people, he missed far too many races last season. Without the absences, he would be a much higher in the standings. Sambal's been here for a fair few seasons, a couple of years now. He's a bit of a regular with us, and it's nice to see him with a better result of the season. As for Dino, he joined us for a couple of seasons, left for a couple of seasons, and now he's back again. Nearly a year later from when he left. Dino's a nice guy, was a regular in tier 3 before. If he can maybe get a bit more practice in and keep working at it, let's see how he develops. But obviously, the key aspect for you, Dino, would be just to keep practicing, keep working at it, mate. Because that was the issue before, is when you stepped away, I think it was more frustration. Just keep your head, mate, and I'm sure the results will come.
Yep, I'm sure they will. And we'll move on to the V-Carbs. Mr. RW, to be fair.
I believe that's a Bailey, that one.
Go on, I'll take the V-Carb.
Go on then.
So, BFD Ross and the Naked Champ are your V-Carb drivers in Tier 3. BFD Ross had a fair few top 10s, quite a lot of top 10s actually. I'd like to see if he can push for higher point finishes. He was usually the mid to low top 10s. Let's see if you can get yourself your first podium, mate. As for Naked Champ, well, the stewards know all about you, my friends. In the nicest possible way, you are a fantastically quick guy, but you need to see this season if you can refrain from being in the incident rooms so much. That resulted in having a ban which took away your title chances. You were in the mix with Flaherty, Jackster, Avanash and Wookie. Unfortunately, obviously that ban took away any chance you had. So let's see how you go this season, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it could be a good battle, that one. I think that could be good fun this season. See how he gets on and the improvements he's going to make. Absolutely. And let's go to the Willie Boys, Mr. Hardy, for the final team in Tier 3.
Now, for Williams. Stop laughing, Chris. I don't know if I can say it.
This wasn't a fix.
The first driver is actually a driver who sadly had just so much work last season that it actually prevented him racing very much. But he has told me he should have a much freed up schedule for this season. He's a driver who's been proven to be very, very quick over previous seasons, and that is Mr. Ant Stoke, aka Anthony Stoke. Driver number 2.
Your best friend. He sounds like you.
Shush. Yeah, it's Wookie. I'm just going to go with that.
That was short-lived.
So Wookie...
I was going to say something, but I can't say it on stream.
It's okay. Wookie was P2 last season. He actually had a fantastic season. He, Jackster, Avanash and Flaherty, as we did mention, touched on all of them earlier, were very hard fought in a title battle throughout the season, and he did thrive towards the end of the season in particular. I think that the title is his aim this season. I'm not saying he's a favourite, because in Tier 3 I think there's actually 5 or 6 drivers who are really closely matched, and he's one of them. So Mr. Wookie, aka Aaron, I expect you somewhere in the top 3 at the very least. As you mentioned there, Carl, he was unavailable quite a lot, which is a shame. If he's available more, I would love to see some good results from him.
Yeah, and he's definitely capable. Definitely capable.
Yeah, I remember when he
100%.
was the season I think it was the season I won the title. He was one of the main contenders, and he was actually a Tier 4 driver that season, and he was reserving Tier 3 every week and was the one pushing me the hardest at the start of the season anyway. So I know he's got the pace there to be able to really compete at the front.
Yeah, we do. So there we go, folks. Tier 3, Tier 2, and Tier 1 of all been revealed for you all. Mr. Hills, anything to say before we go into the extreme tier?
Shall we quickly talk about MRCX?
I think that's a good shout. We've got 7 laps to go, so go on.
We have, so we may overrun here if we're not careful.
That's
but
right.
We might do.
Extreme won't take long.
I'm going to be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, basically, MRCX, we have a finalised calendar for it, which I will drop shortly. And we've listened to everyone's feedback. So basically, that survey that loads of people did, and also some suggestions that were in the ideas and requests in the Discord, we've taken some stuff on board, and we have made a few changes. Out goes Formula 2 that 82.7% of people seem to hate, according to the survey, so we're not going to do Formula 2 anymore. I know a few people like it, but it seems like everybody else hates it, so that's gone. What we've done instead is we've focused in on the things that people have told us that they do like. So we have looked at basically, we've got plenty of standard races, which is the favoured format according to all the research we've done. We've also got quite a few 100% races, which is the second favourite format. Both standard ones with the qualifying and also reverse grids with 100% as well. And we've got a new format that we're going to pop in there as well, which is a double 25% race. And what that's going to be is there will be a qualifying session, standard short qualifying, and then 2 25% races on the same track, with the first race determining the grid of the second race, which will be a reverse order of the first one. So basically you qualify, you do a short 25% race, that race then flips around, and those results become the start positions of the second race. Basically, it's kind of like a form of a sprint race, but sort of simplified. And we've got some sprint races as well. But basically, we've followed what people said they wanted and kept to basically things based around a 50 or 100% format. However, there is a big change.
Oh, yes.
Which is MRCX is now going to be realistic performance. So that means that basically, based on your tier results, you will be given cars based on the competitiveness of your results. So if you're winning in tier 1, you'll be in a Williams for the race with realistic performance. If you are the bottom of tier 3, you'll be in a Red Bull. And there's, I've been reading recently there can be up to 2 seconds a lap of difference in some of those cars, I've read, which isn't actually realistic to real life, but apparently that's what realistic is in the game. So basically, there's another leveler in there and a whole new twist to MRCX. So we've got a whole bunch of new formats, and we've got an entirely new way of going racing. So we'll no longer be using the My Team cars, it will be realistic performance, real world F1 cars.
Yeah, that's going to be good fun, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be just another factor that we bring in, and like we say, if it doesn't work, then hey, we'll change it. But I think it's down to everybody wanted it, or the majority of people voted for it, and it's been brought up, the realistic performance has been brought up in the ideas sections quite a few times.
It has, for a long time as well.
Yeah, it has, exactly. So it's good. I think it just adds that little extra bit into it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Should we quickly run through the XT tiers, and then any of the business we can briefly bring up as well?
Yeah,
because stuff is literally a 2-minute job as well.
It is, because this is not a team championship. This is drivers sort of a lot of the time mixed in tiers. Sometimes it's not. It's just a car. It is equal performance in this tier still. Let's go through that. The first team in the Alpines is Armour Red, and pardon me, and his partner will be Colin TK in the Alpine.
Indeed, I think it's quite a close match in terms of pace, but we've got one tier 1, one tier 2.
Yep.
Former champion as well in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do.
Armagh was the first winner, yeah. He was. And then you've got in Aston Martin, Kaiser Soze and Lorpy.
Yep, another good pairing as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then in the Ferrari, it's that famous Tier 1 pairing again. It's Chris Bailey and Baby Hornet.
Could be good fun. That could be really good fun. And then in the Haspermobiles, we have got the man who needs a sat nav to find the bathroom. It is Scottish Ninja. We said that. I'm surprised we didn't say that earlier. We said it last season, so I thought I had to bring it in.
Wookie, mate. That's Wookie.
Is it Wookie needs that as well?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I couldn't use what I said he needed to set up to get out of.
Sorry, Grant, is that killing you? Sorry. Then we've also got Mr. Maurice in Maurice as well in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. In McLaren, the runners for McLaren are Jules and Single Track.
Good pair.
Yeah. And now we have the Antone team of the Mercedes.
ANT.
ANT,
Mercedes ANT. It is Anthony Huxon, the one that's on track. The French, Portuguese, German,
Geordie,
Mr. Worldwide,
Uzbekistan, Turkish, whatever you want to call him. And the other one is a brand new driver who is signed up. He's also got a full-time seat in Tier 3. It's Antown 1677 is his EAID. Otherwise known as Antoine Dracar.
Yes.
It's pretty cool to have a 350-year-old guy racing.
Yeah,
good maths. I like that. That was good.
Well,
way too
348.
quick for my liking.
Yeah.
And then we've got...
Mark, do you want to take the Red Bull?
Absolutely. We have got in the Red Bulls, we have got Henrik Schmidt in that team and Alex Jasecki, Mr. Saviour, in the Red Bull team.
Yes. Two champions there, Tier 1 and Tier 3. Then you've got in Sauber, Rassam, who is obviously new to Tier 1, and one new member who we've not mentioned about yet, Dan37946, which I'm sure we will forget the numbers and just call him Dan. Dan is a Tier 3 reserve. Dan! Oh, I'll go full Alan Partridge there. Dan is a Tier 3 reserve. He's recently joined as well this week. He's very enthusiastic and fingers crossed he enjoys the Extreme Tier. He's also a crossplay joiner, so yeah, news to us.
Yeah, I've been speaking with him in DM. He's very, very excited to get racing in Extreme.
His real name is Daniel Gaines.
Gaines?
Yeah,
that sounds Welsh.
I forgot. I did write it down somewhere, but
I can't think off the top of my head. I
sounds Welsh.
Polish. I want to say
it's Eastern Europe. It's in Europe somewhere. I know that much.
I know that much. Then we head to V-Carb, no? I think.
Yeah, V-Carb next.
Yeah, and that will be C8 Lou, aka Louis Carter. He is in the V-Carb, and he's joined by the man who I said earlier. He's incredibly quick. It's Mike Cremesh, aka Joey Davis.
Yeah. Joey!
Strong team.
Very.
How you doing?
How you doing? Joey doesn't share food.
He doesn't share food. Hodgie doesn't share rum. Joey doesn't share food.
Hodgie also doesn't share steak bakes or Greg's pasties.
Yeah, let's not go down. Wow. Why would you even go? Right. And last but not least, we have the Williams team in Extreme. It is the pizza man himself, Alessio Panizza, is in the Williams, and joining him is my new teammate, Johannes van den Plug. Bobo is in the Williams in Extreme.
Indeed.
A pizza on a willy.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, anyway. I'm here to be that delivery driver.
Not my kind of topping.
I don't want that. I do not want that delivery driver to come to my house.
That's what you call a meat feast.
But it's generally to try and mix up the different tiers. You've got a couple like tier 2s and tier 1s together, but it's generally top and bottom of each tier, generally, but there's a couple like Sozy and Lorpy where they're quite similar, which, it's not the end of the world. It's not a team championship, so it's not the biggest problem.
Aye.
So yeah, that is all it is. Martin, is there anything else it is? We've done it. We've made it with half a lap to go.
I know.
Martin, is there any other business that you would like to put on the table?
I think we've covered most things off, haven't we? Because we've spoken about, obviously the big changes are in X and XT. I think we've covered all that stuff.
Yeah, it is, and everything will be dropped as it already has been. I've been sort of half keeping an eye on in the Discord as well, so do keep your eyes peeled, folks. We're going to have, in the next day or so, X, the first race of the season, will be dropped live for check-in, so don't miss that one at all.
Yes.
I think, folks, as the Saviour has done the last to first challenge, and he is going to cross the line and win this evening. Gentlemen, we did it very, very well. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a blast, as it always is. Martin, thank you so much for dropping the graphics and the work you've done with the graphics. Next time we'll let you have the colouring pens. We think you're done with the pencils now. As long as you promise not to lick them and chew them.
Give them back afterwards.
You give them back afterwards, we'll count them.
Put the lids on when you're done with them.
I normally lose the lids up my nose, to be fair.
That's
why they always have a hole in the top, so that if you swallow it, stick it up your nose like I do. Still breathe.
How have you got a girlfriend?
This went on a tangent.
Connor, Chris, thank you so much, Chris, your first time with us. It's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for sorting the tiers as well and doing your part as well. It's been great.
And also, thanks to Connor for doing a million Facebook recruitment posts a day and getting blocked, banned, and
abused.
I actually got booted from one the other day.
Oh no.
Harassment.
I was like, okay, see you later. They didn't want you anyway.
But yeah, if you are watching and you do fancy joining us, please do. The link is in the in our about section, so please do join us. We'd love to have you and race with us. Gentlemen and ladies watching, thank you so much, well and Saviour, for the race. Thank you everybody on track for taking part as well this evening. So, MRC
Season 16
exact starts in 4 days' time. That's all you have to do is wait. That's not a long time at all. So, get the practice in.
Also brought to you by the Soggy Biscuit and Kaiser Soze.
Ah, very interesting indeed. So good commentary pairing, bringing you the first race of the season. So, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. And thank you, everybody, for taking part in YouTube as well. And we will all see you in a few days' time for Season 16 as we go lights out and bring you the fast and furious season ahead. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you very, very soon. Good night.
See ya.
See you later.
Bye.